Welcome to CivilNet. Today I'm joined by the Acting Rector of the Yerevan State University, Hovhannes Hovhannisyan. The Yerevan State University is the oldest continuously operating public university in Armenia and is sometimes even colloquially known as the Mother University of Armenia. We'll be discussing reforms, the university's roadmap, and some of the issues in the educational sector in Armenia. So, Mr. Hovhannisyan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So can you describe the situation of the Yerevan State University and what are the major challenges the institution is facing?
Thank you very much for the invitation one more time. So we are having a lot of challenges. As they broadly saying, the educational sector in the world today is facing a lot of challenges. And we in Armenia, we are facing the broader challenges and the local challenges at the same time. You mentioned correctly that this is the oldest university, which was founded in 1919, and we celebrated 100 year of anniversary recently. So in the past 3 years, Yerevan State University faced a lot of challenges, including the political situation in Armenia, which kind of impacted the Yerevan State University, and the previously governments which tried to put the university under the control. So, and now we are heading forward by having a purely research institution, educational institution, and our philosophy is here, but we should have a research institution with a strong research component, and we are doing some reforms towards this. Another challenge is infrastructures. We are trying to renovate, rehabilitate, and to have new infrastructures, including having a new STEM school, for which we need the international our supporters, our diaspora, businesses to come and to get involved into this process. So we are now we are in a phase of reforms and development, and for this we need clearly the support of our diaspora, and we need the support of businesses and others. By the way, the connection between the local businesses and Yerevan State University, not only Yerevan State University, but the other universities, was very weak. Now we are trying to strengthen this, because in many cases the businesses were complaining that they don't have good professionals to get involved into their businesses, and now we are suggesting them to come to the education, to invest into the education, to have joint programs, and to prepare professionals for their businesses, and not only for their businesses, for the development of Armenia. And in this sense, we have a lot of things to do with the businesses as well. But on our first line, or major line, is to strengthen the research capabilities of the staff of professors of Yerevan State University, for which we try to involve professors from abroad, and we would be happy if this program would be seen by our professionals abroad, and they will send some messages how we want to get involved into this process of reformation of Yerevan State University, to get their input into the education of our students. And many other reforms. It's already a month I'm an acting rector of Yerevan State University, but during this month we try to outline the major directions of our reforms. And I can say that in some directions we have already some successes. We try also to promote people to have their journals in the international indexes like Scopus or Web of Science. We are raising the money which we are giving, which previously was given to professors for their publications. We are now raising, but we are doing the differentiating for example, in impact factor journals like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, we are raising the money for example, Q1 and Q2, which will impact the rating of Yerevan State University, which in its turn will bring some international students to some of our programs. And we try to do some steps to involve international students and to do some steps towards the internationalization of some of our educational programs. So we have a broader agenda of reforms, and we are trying to implement that reforms. Some of the reforms would be implemented in the nearest future. Some of the reforms would take some time to be implemented.
And you mentioned you have been acting rector for a month, but the university, correct me if I'm wrong, has been without a rector for almost a year, around a year. Why is this?
It's not so, because the university has an acting rector as well. The problem was we didn't have board of trustees, and the problem was with the board of trustees. Now the government adopted a new, because it's a public institution and the government is the founder. So now we have a new decision, and according to that decision we are going to form a new board of trustees, which itself will announce the competition for the rector. And after this competition, I hope at the end of this year already we will have a rector of Yerevan State University.
And there have been many calls for reforms in the educational sector in Armenia. You spoke a bit about the need for resources from outside. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And is it not even possible to have staffers, researchers and professors coming from abroad, perhaps even from the diaspora?
Yesterday, with a group of young scholars, we were discussing the idea of professorship in Armenia, which will allow us to involve some professionals, some professors from abroad, and kind of to restart many of the programs in Yerevan State Universities. For me personally, it's very important the nature sciences, the fundamental sciences. It's very important. The humanities are important as well. The Armenian studies are important as well. But natural sciences, they are the moving force of Yerevan State University, and they always were the moving force of Yerevan State University. We had very good traditions in physics, in applied physics, in IT. Now we have a good tradition in mathematics. We have very good and cooperation of these spheres with universities abroad, which we are now trying to implement. Would be mutually profitable. I want to stress, but we have very good professors at Yerevan State University at this moment, but at the same time we should make the educational sphere and scientific sphere more attractable for the younger generation, which nowadays I would say is not so. They are not so much motivated to stay in the science. They are mostly motivated to go to a real sector to earn money. That's why we are trying to enhance some finances to keep these professors, young scholars in the university. And for this reason, one of our major steps which we are going to implement is to create the endowment fund, which Yerevan State University didn't have an endowment fund, and most of the public institutions in Armenia don't have endowment fund. The creating of endowment fund and accumulating some finances on it and using that interest of that finances for the development projects of Yerevan State University is one of our priorities. And we are going to work on that direction, and soon I think we will have the endowment fund, and we are going to start a campaign to raise money on exact programs, and plus, of course, we need a lot of scholarships for our students, and many people, many businesses now, they are providing scholarships. But we need to make it more institutional and continuous. This is very important for us.
And is there anything in particular which is disturbing the reform process? And can you tell us possibly about any roadmap?
We have a roadmap. And our philosophy is the following. For us, is the most important thing is the human being. For us, the human is the center of everything, and especially our university, because everything goes around the humans. Professors, students, everything is around them. And we are doing our best to improve their life. For example, it's not secret that the salaries of professors at Yerevan State University is not so high. But nowadays is going the attestation process of the scholars, and the scholars who will get higher degrees will get more salary. Plus, I already mentioned the publications and other means, so it can raise their salary to the market rates. For example, if you are teaching in an IT department, and you can get like 1.5 million drams going to the market, so you can get that money working in the science and working in a university through these reforms, after these reforms. And in this sense, of course, there are a lot of things to do. It's the improvement of infrastructures, new laboratories. For example, when somebody is telling me we want to donate some money to Yerevan State University for some program, I prefer them to say, can you implement that with that money? Don't give us the money, but implement it on your own, because it gives us more flexibility, it gives us more opportunity, and we are not going through the procurement process of public procurement process, which sometimes makes a lot of difficulties for us. So in this sense, if there are some people who will have some ideas to implement, to create some new laboratories at Yerevan State University, to create some new programs, or try to improve some infrastructure, because we want to create, for example, a new student center, we want to have a new updated and internationally, like by international standards, conference halls, etc., to host international conferences. For this reason, we need some investors, because education is not any expenses done on education is not an expense. It's an investment. We have this philosophy. And if you want to invest into the education process, any person is free to do that.
And finally, I want to ask about a phenomenon I've heard about in Armenia, which is the politicization of university spaces in Armenia. Many saw university figures as political figures. I know also that a lot of the university societies were highly politicized. Can you describe this phenomenon to us, and whether there is a process of depoliticization going on?
Years ago, everything was politicized in Armenia, including the universities and educational sector as well, including schools, colleges, and the others. And it's not a secret that I'm coming from the current political party. I was in the parliament, but when I came to university and I decided to come to university, I said it's over. So I'm coming as a political person, and by my steps and by my philosophy and the actions which I was doing in the last 1 month, everybody was convinced that I am saying the truth, and Yerevan State University is not going to be any more politically affiliated institution for any political party. So people are free to express their minds. I'm not going to press them for that, but when you are at Yerevan State, when you are teaching, you should be objective, you should be non-political, at least you should stand on that position that you are apolitical. But for this reason, it's the will of one person is not enough. We need institutional approach to this, and for institutional approach, we need a lot of policies to be developed. Unfortunately, in the last years or the previous years, many policies were not developed. We need a lot of policies to be integrity policy, we need research policy, we need 100 of different policies. When these policies would be ready, we can say that it will be stand on institutional basis, the apoliticization of the educational sector, including, of course, the law on higher education, plus the decisions of government and plus the policies of the exact universities. And after this we can say that this era is over and it's coming a new era, and the freedom and the atmosphere, our political atmosphere, were one of the most important factors to have better education, to have a quality education, and we are moving forward to this.
Well, Mr. Hovhannisyan, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us on CivilNet.